Minecraft 1.21.9 The Copper Age brings the Copper Golem, shelves, mannequins, a new F3 screen, a whole bunch of copper items, and much more. Good now, my name is MagentaLewi and welcome to another Minecraft update video. If you don't want to miss out on any essential updates to Minecraft but don't want to waste your time on videos about bug fixes and code changes in every single snapshot, subscribing to my channel is the perfect way to only get the news worth knowing, and it also helps a small YouTuber grow. With this update being named the Copper Age, let's start with all the copper related items. First up is the copper bars and the copper chains, which are crafted with these items. Let me show you. You put 6 copper ingots in there and get 16 copper bars. And for the chain, you just use 2 of the new copper nuggets with 1 copper ingot, and then you got the copper chain. And in that sense, they are very similar to the iron bars and the newly named iron chains in crafting. And of course, as you can see, the copper bars and the copper chains will oxidize over time, just like all other copper blocks. These new nuggets, the copper nuggets, work just like iron and gold nuggets in that you can craft a copper ingot with 9 of the nuggets. Now, this is already revealing that, of course, you can axe and wax all of these items, just like all other copper blocks. A few changes to already existing copper blocks are that lightning rods finally will oxidize just like all other copper blocks, and of course, since this is now the recipe for copper bars, the copper trapdoor has gotten a little bit cheaper with only 4 copper ingots, just like the iron trapdoor is only 4 iron ingots. Next up is the copper torch, which is basically just a regular torch, but it's green. It's crafted with 1 stick, 1 coal, and then a copper nugget on top. So as you can see, regular torch, copper torch. And you cannot craft it by just putting the copper nugget on top of the torch. That is not possible. Now, if we take a look at the torch itself, it has the exact same light level of 14 as a regular torch. So if we just change this, you can see there's no difference in the lighting, not even the color of the light or the amount of light. It is the exact same. The only difference is that the top of the torch itself, of course, looks different. Now, with this new torch and 8 copper nuggets, you can craft the all-new copper lantern. And just like the torch, this lantern is just like the regular lantern. So it has the same light level of 15, and it has the same light color, and the only difference really is the looks of it. Unlike the copper torch, though, the copper lantern will oxidize over time, and it can as well also be both axed and waxed. But as you can see, unlike the copper bulbs, the oxidation state won't change the light level of the lantern. They still have the same exact illumination level, no matter the oxidation state. With copper, we also get a very useful early game armor. While a full set of leather armor gives 7 armor, a full set of gold gives 11 armor points, and a full set of iron gives 15. A full set of the new copper armor gives 10 armor points. While this might not seem necessary looking at the numbers, both a full set of gold and leather armor can be quite difficult to get early game, while copper is just everywhere. So while the pros can go straight to the iron armor and the patient player can go for leather first, this gives the noobs a great early game armor to help them on their journey to the iron set. And not only do we get a new copper armor, we also get copper tools, and that includes the sword, the shovel, the pickaxe, the axe, and of course the hoe. All copper tools have a higher durability and mining efficiency than stone tools, but the same exact damage. All copper items and armors can be melted into a copper nugget just like iron and gold tools and armors. Not only does the player get a new copper armor, but so does the horse. And the new copper horse armor can now be found at all structures as the iron horse armor and with the exact same chance of spawning. These structures are the monster rooms, desert pyramids, end cities, jungle pyramids, nether fortresses, strongholds, and weaponsmiths. And while the iron horse armor gives 5 armor and the leather horse armor gives 3, copper lands in between at 4. Sorry for interrupting, but just have a look at these ice falls we have here. That looks so cool. Like what? That's naturally spawned. God damn. And what is this? I've never seen anything like this before. What? And now we get to the big news of this game drop, which is the all-new Copper Golem. This Copper Golem is a remake of the Copper Golem introduced in the mob vote back at Minecraft Live 2021. And besides confirming that losing mobs can return in later updates, the Copper Golem is also so much better this time around. You build a Copper Golem by placing a carved pumpkin or a jack-o'-lantern on top of, under, or next to a copper block. This will spawn a Copper Golem standing on top of a copper chest. It is of course also possible to only spawn a Copper Golem without the chest by using a Copper Golem spawn egg. And it is also possible to craft the copper chest by using copper ingots all around a regular chest. And there you go, now you have a copper chest without the copper golems. The copper chests will oxidize over time and it can be waxed and axed as all other copper blocks. And if a copper golem is near, it will try to sort the items in the copper chest into other chests. If the Copper Golem is not already holding an item, it will search for copper chests in an area of 32 blocks in all horizontal directions and 8 blocks up and down. To make its search easier, it can even open all non-iron doors and squeeze through all gaps bigger than 0.98 blocks high and 0.49 blocks wide. When it finds a copper chest, it will take out up to 16 of the first items in the chest. If the chest is empty though, the Copper Golem will continue to the next copper chest from there. It can remember 10 copper chests, and if it still hasn't found any items, it will wander around for 7 seconds, forgetting the 10 checked chests, and start over from where it stands. If it finds an item, the Copper Golem will then go to the nearest chest or trapped chest, checking if it is possible to place an item in there. If the chest is empty or has the exact same items inside, the Copper Golem will put the item in the first available slot in the chest and not necessarily stack the items with the identical items. It does not distinguish between potions or suspicious stews, and it ignores durability, enchantments, shulker box content, and custom names. If the chest doesn't have any matching items inside, the Copper Golem will bring its item to the next chest from there. Once again, the maximum memory is 10 chests, and if it still hasn't been able to place its item, it will wander around for 7 seconds, forget all chests, and start over. It will also forget all visited chests when placing items in a chest, meaning it will check the same 9 chests again, even when it needs to sort the same item multiple times in a row, before it time and time again reaches the 10th and correct chest. This way of sorting items is not super efficient, and it will not replace redstone item sorters, but it is a nice addition that can help you organize items, sort non-stackable items, and quite effectively sort small storage systems with multiple golems working together. The Iron Golem has a small chance of giving a Copper Golem one of its puppies that the Copper Golem will then put on top of its lightning rod, wearing it like a hat. And imagine how cool it would be if that happened while I said that. But yeah, it is very, very rare. And yeah, I really don't have time to wait for that. But it does happen. The Copper Golem will, as all other copper blocks, oxidize over time if not waxed. And it will go through the 4 stages one at a time after 21 to 23 in-game days. And if another cycle goes by, the Copper Golem will oxidize into a Copper Golem statue, just like these ones. If axed in this state, it will go backwards through the oxidation stats, and finally it will actually return to life. Oh, there we go. When interacting with the statue, it will change between 4 poses that all have their own redstone level when used with a redstone comparator. The default pose has a redstone power level of 1, the sitting pose is 2, the running pose is 3, and finally the star pose is 4. One of the newest additions to this game drop is the mannequins, not to be confused with the villagers, of course. And the mannequins are basically just NPCs that you can summon in with this command right here, summon Minecraft mannequin, and then you can choose a position, or you can just press enter after mannequin, and boom, now you got one of the mannequins. And it is just like a player, and it will move just like a player if you push it around. The only difference is that it is just an NPC. There is nobody moving or like controlling this mannequin. It's just a mannequin standing there, and you can do different stuff with these mannequins, and I'll go through some of the items, or some of the things you can do, and some of the items that you can give them and make them do. So yeah, let's have a look. For me to summon Steve, you have to use this very long command, and for some reason it needs the position, but you can just like use these lines here and don't give a specific position. And then you need the profile, and then go into texture, entity, player, slim, and then Steve. And over here you can put in any of the names of the different characters that are built into the game, and there we go. Now we also got a Steve, just like we got the Alex. And to make this even cooler, you can actually add any profile to these mannequins. So here I just add the profile in the command, and then my player name, my profile name, and there we go. Now I'm also in here as a mannequin. And you can just move me around. I can just stand here and there. I can add myself. I could do a quest maybe. Well, like a game, a mini game inside of Minecraft, and I could put myself in there at different places, and I could stand there giving quests to the players. That is so super duper cool, but that's not all. And also, I just want to clarify here and show you that it doesn't actually need to be a player that is already inside your game. Like here, I got Mumbo Jumbo, and obviously I don't know Mumbo Jumbo, but as you can see, I can also put him in as a mannequin in my game. You can summon the mannequins with custom names, and then it will show up when you look at them. This is Gert, the NPC. You can even summon them holding items, but you need a crazy command like this one to do it, and here you can see Alex is now holding the copper sword. And finally, with a command just like this one, where you use the pose in the command, you can pose these NPCs. And now we have one crouching here, and we have one swimming down here. And yeah, you can just try and play around with all of these commands yourself. It is of course a bit technical, but it is also so cool that you can add all these mannequins, NPCs into the game. Another awesome command is the set world spawn that will, of course, well, set your spawn at wherever you're standing. You can also, of course, add a location, and there's nothing new in this, but it is now no longer limited to the overworld, but can be done anywhere. So we can start by setting it right here, so next time I die, this is where I'll spawn. But now you can actually also do it in other dimensions, just like the Nether. And this was previously not possible, but if we use set world spawn right here, right now, boom, next time I die, I will spawn in the Nether. That's never been possible before, so now you can actually start a world, set your spawn point in the Nether, and like do a full gameplay only in the Nether without having to use any of the other methods to spawn in the Nether, as of course using the respawn anchor. Another big and extremely useful feature is the shelf, and 6 shelves are crafted with 6 stripped logs, stems, or bamboo, and they can store up to 3 item stacks. These items will be displayed just like an item frame, and interacting with these slots, swap the chosen slot's item with whatever is in the player's active hand. When powered by redstone, the shelf's divider will disappear, resulting in the player swapping all 3 items with whatever is in the player's 3 rightmost slots in the hotbar. If 3 shelves are connected and all powered by redstone like this, all 9 slots of the inventory will swap. Shelves also work as power sources with redstone comparators, as an item in the left slot has a redstone power of 1, an item in the middle has a power level of 2, and an item at the right has a power of 4. The redstone power level can be adjusted by simple math and adding the slots up to a maximum of a total of 7 as redstone power. And as a side note, this is also the same as binary code, which the binary code community is really thrilled about. But worry not, if you don't know binary code just like me, you can just use addition, which is also how Mojang explains how to figure the redstone power levels out when using the shelves. So as you can see here, 1 plus 2 is just 3. And of course 2 plus 4 would be 6, and so on and so forth. 1 plus 2 plus 4 is 7. So yeah, if you don't know binary, don't worry, you can just use addition, but it is binary code, which is really cool. Now hoppers and droppers can automatically fill these shelves, and they will always start from the left side, and of course they can also automatically take them out of the shelves as well. And finally, this shelf also has an effect on the node block, which usually sounds like this. But with the shelf, it will sound like this. A debug screen, or F3 screen, has been reworked to be less cluttered and way easier to read and use. It can be customized in the debug option by pressing F3 and F6 at the same time. And as you can see here, you can now choose what specific elements you want to be in F3, and you can also choose to have them on always. So if we choose biomes as always and then say done and take F3 away, now you can see I will always see what biome I am inside. And this is super duper cool. I always install a mod to do this. This is so super awesome. The dies have gotten new looks with a small paint palette and different shapes. So finally all dies have a unique shape to support colorblindness accessibility. At the same time, this has made them all a bit more similar, which was apparently also the plan. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think they hit the mark by both being different and similar at the same time, or were they better as they were before? You'll now see end flashes in the end sky for 5 to 19 seconds with a delay of 30 seconds in between. The flash itself has a purple glow, and all block lighting becomes tinted with purple during the flashes. Whilst the Ender Dragon is still alive, there's fog in the end, and that will hinder the sight of these flashes, whilst the brightness of purple light affecting the block lighting is reduced. Pumpkins should now be able to spawn in mushroom fields, aka the mushroom islands, but I've actually not been able to find any, so maybe that's not been added after all. It might still just be a bug that it's not happening, but they should be able to spawn, and I think they'll add it before the final release of the game. The world border is now dimension specific, meaning that if you set the world border's size in the overworld, it will no longer affect it in the nether. So out here I've set the border to only 12 blocks, and then the center right here, so this is all the space I have in the overworld. But then if I go to the nether, I can explore way further than that. I can go infinitely in here, so that's pretty damn cool. A nice new option is being able to choose between hold or toggle when attacking or destroying, and using items or placing a block. Hold is default, but toggle gives your fingers a much needed break when working on big projects. Because if we just put it to toggle and go back into the game and press one time, it will go automatically. I'm not pressing the mouse now. It's so nice. Mob heads with a custom name will now preserve that name after you set them down and then pick them up again. Before, this would actually remove the custom name, but as you can see, it is still named. Like and subscribe. Monster spawn eggs now have a tooltip warning in peaceful, saying that they can't spawn the mob. Also, the mob won't spawn for one tick like before, but just not at all. Chests finally has a lower sound volume. And the lightning is finally linked to weather sound volume, so it's not extremely loud for no reason anymore. With Portal and Ender Pearl chunk loaders and the command force load, the constant loading of the spawn chunks has been removed. Areas with a lot of mobs will be rendered differently, and particles outside the player's view will not render, improving performances a lot. And with that, I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, then please do leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and comment your favorite new feature of the coming game drop. Please also check out the description for links to my bonus content, my Discord community, and my Patreon with exclusive content and influence for everyone supporting me financially on my way to becoming a full-time content creator. With all that out of the way, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.